welcome back to Bucks Beat, episode 107, I believe. This will be a deep dive into Braves baseball, and as you can see, or maybe you're going to hear, Kelly Crull in the house tonight. Kelly, good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
And look at you with all the Braves gear on.
Yes, this is that Aaron Andrews line. Some of the cutest things. If you're still looking for some ladies or men, and Mother's Day is around the corner, right?
Uh-oh.
Nice Mother's Day. Anywhere, wear WEAR, the EA. Get it, Aaron Andrews. So anyway, yes, I pulled it out for the big Dodgers series, Buck. Here we go.
Here we go, man. We need to do a little better than we did in that series out in L.A.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, they certainly appear to be looking better, the Braves do now.
I think they started the season at 9-0 or 8-0. We started the year 0-7.
It looked a little different. Yeah, they have since cooled off just a smidge, and the Braves look to be trending up. So this should be a fun one. Fun and at home.
Yeah, this Dodger series brings back a lot of good memories for me. We grew up in Valdosta, Georgia, down on the Georgia-Florida line. And big Braves fans. Dad was the Cardinals man.
Ah, really?
But he played along. You know, the Braves were a second favorite team. And
good job.
so we would pick out, he would say, okay, son, get the Braves schedule out. You pick out a couple of series.
Okay.
And we will make the trip up to Atlanta. You can take a friend or maybe your brothers, and we'll have a big time. So I was always a fan of I enjoyed watching the Dodgers. They were really good at the time.
Yeah.
They were winning. And I had this fixation on L.A. being a great place at the time. So, you know, I'd pick out the Dodgers series, and Dad would load us up in that wood-paneled station wagon.
The Caravan, yeah, sure.
And we'd get everybody in there, and we would make our trip up to Atlanta to see a couple of the Braves-Dodgers games. Now, we would go straight to the Hyatt Regency in downtown Atlanta.
Fancy, yeah.
We didn't stay there.
Oh, no, you were looking for someone else.
But we went to get some autographs, you know. So Dad would pull that station wagon into the Hyatt Regency, and boy, we would hit that lobby with baseballs and pens.
On a mission.
And man, that was so much fun catching these players on the way out to head to the stadium. I remember getting the autograph of Don Sutton, who we got to know later.
Yeah, that's
Here's
awesome.
a Braves broadcaster, and Steve Yeager I thought was cool. He was the catcher, and he wore these tinted glasses. You know,
I remember that.
He just seemed so cool.
Oh, you got some good ones.
Tommy John, Bill Buckner at the time was the Dodger first baseman. I'm sort of giving you a clue on, you know, what age group I'm in. But, man, we would work that lobby and get some autographs, and then we would get back and load up and head to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium to see a couple of the games, and just love that. I'm sure a lot of the Braves fans out in Braves country have done the same thing, circling that Dodger series that we're now about to see, circling that on the calendar. I'm guessing Truist Park's going to be a little bit crazy.
I would packed, right? And a little revenge. They're looking to get back after what you said, the way it went the first time around. Now they're at home, and I did what you said. I looked up some of those tickets today because you were wondering how hard it might be.
Standing room only?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I saw, which there were a couple, so just in case, and they weren't too bad. But boy, oh boy, if you're looking to get down low or something, I saw one for $3,000.
What? Say what?
Say what? Couldn't believe that. But it should be a really great series. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the national TV, we're going to get it Saturday with the Fox crew. John Smoltz on the call in that Fox game of the week on Saturday night, and then ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, big
we'll
time.
Broadcast the Sunday
Prime
game.
time.
So here we go, man. And the Dodgers, Kelly, they're coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
They've won 5 in a row. They're scoring runs in bunches. They're averaging 5.5 runs a game. That is third in all of Major League Baseball. So they're lighting up the scoreboard. Ohtani, he's hitting 4 games in a row. Betts is hitting 5 games in a row. Freeman's hit in 6 games in a row. Teoscar Hernandez has hit in 9 games in a row. The top of that lineup is raking right now.
Yeah, it's a stealthy lineup, if you will, and a long lineup. Their biggest concerns have been pitching, right? They've had some injuries there, and they think they're getting a few guys back. I think Dustin May just came back for them, but Yeah, it's going to be a test for the Braves hurlers, and I'm a little bummed we're not going to see Chris Sale against them. That I would have liked, especially after his last outing.
Yeah, you want the best going against the best. They've got 2 starters out. Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell are out with shoulder inflammation. Kershaw's on the injured list. He's trying to get back from toe surgery during the offseason, so we won't see any of those 3. But we're going to see Yamamoto, and we're going to see Sasaki pitching in 2 of the 3 games.
Yeah.
I think, what is it? We got May going in the 3rd game for the Dodgers. Looking forward to it. The Braves right now are rolling too, man. We've won 9 out of 12 to get this thing turned around. We've won 4 series in a row and fighting our way back into the National League East. That is good to see. We've been waiting on this. Get the Braves rolling.
To say the least. I'm glad we pumped the brakes early on in the season and said, let's see where this goes. And, had they pulled off that last game in Colorado, they're coming back here 500. And they've done it pretty fast. And there's a great, and I know, stat out there that if they do this in the next couple of games, that will be the quickest as far as teams who started 0-7 to come back to 500. And they're playing great baseball right now, right? Like much better, much more like what we expected it to look like when it comes to guys hitting, guys coming through in bigger moments with runners on base, all of those types of things. But I would love to see a couple of guys who cooled off on that last road trip heat back up here in time for the Dodgers.
Like Ozuna.
Yeah, like the big bear.
How about Verdugo? Let's talk about him for a moment. We pick him up off the scrap heap. He's down in AAA for a minute. He's played in 10 games now, and our outfield's been a real revolving door. But it's been great seeing him do what he's done out in left field. Yeah. He's been putting the bat on the ball, man. This is great to see. He's been a big boost.
A huge.
Out in left field.
You're right. And I think everyone around the league, I mean, this he's been around, and he's been really good with certain teams. And I think I was telling you when we were on your show the other night that the fact that this guy was sitting around in March and hadn't got a phone call, I think there's a little chip on the shoulder this year. I think that lit a fire under where. And, we're seeing a guy who's come out committed and still has the talent to do what he's doing. And maybe, we hear guys talk all the time about the culture and the clubhouse and feeling comfortable. And Alex Verdugo looks comfortable right now. He's been awesome to watch.
He's been on second base a lot doing that.
Is that how it goes?
Which is a big sign, for the Braves now. Everybody's doing. Verdugo, I heard a good story watching the game or listening to the game. I don't know if it was Ingram on the radio side or Godden on the TV side, but they were talking about Verdugo and our new hitting coach.
Yeah.
Where Tim, our hitting coach, has on your phone, I don't know about you, but on me, I've got about 5,000 photographs and videos on the cell phone, and he does too.
Yeah.
And so he pulled up some video of Verdugo with the Dodgers back 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Right.
And they took a look at the video, and that said, look, let's try to do what you were doing back then. And he's recaptured the swing. And really looks good hitting the ball right now.
I've been back there where they pull this up on the big screens, kind of like this, and they'll have 2013 swing versus, hey, let me show you what you look like now. And I mean, they slow it down and put it right beside each other. And visually, when guys are able to see that, you're right. I mean, that something can click. All of a sudden, they see something. I watched Matt Olson do it and went on a huge hot streak. This was 2 seasons ago. But, Verdugo, whatever they found, stick with it, right?
Yeah, let's pull up the old video, see if we can recapture that. And Hires has got these guys back on track, most of them anyway. Eli White's been a big boost.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how about Eli White,
how
man?
About Eli White? Yeah, what a story.
I was telling the boys at the coffee shop, they were complaining about our shortstop play. And I was saying, what about we move Eli White to shortstop? And they said, Baloo, are you crazy? I mean, this is the big leagues. You can't move a guy from the outfield back to put him at shortstop. I mean, that's a premier defensive position. And I had some fun pointing out, well, you guys didn't know? Yeah. Eli White was the shortstop at Clemson for 3 years.
Sure was. Yeah.
So
He's just an athlete, right? You can tell in at the outfield, wherever they put him. I mean, this guy
I think
is
he
out
could
there
make
to play.
the
He's a
switch
ball
back
player.
to shortstop. But look, news coming down earlier today. Ronald Acuna Jr. We finally got that update.
Finally,
right when I was
right?
getting concerned.
You were.
I was getting concerned. Nothing was out there. And the news being that rehab is going so well right now that Ronald could be back by mid-May, which is, maybe less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, right around
Talk
the
about
corner.
a big boost to the ball club. Here we go.
There was a part of me that was really hoping he'd come back for this Dodger series, just because
Yeah, me
how fun
too.
would that be, right?
Yeah.
But let's get him through this. Let's make sure he feels great, and let's have him for the long haul.
He feels great. I mean, I'm with you. Let's put him in the lineup, man. What are we waiting on?
I know.
We're looking to jumpstart this offense and start doing what the Dodgers are doing, and that's scoring a lot of runs. And what better way to do that than plugging Acuna back in at the top of the lineup, have him back hitting leadoff, and have him back in right field. This outfield has been a revolving door. And so we got Verdugo in left. We got Harris, who I'm still expecting to have an all-star caliber season.
He's turned it on too. He's
And
flipped it on.
Acuna and right. I mean, that looks like a really solid outfield if we can get that out there the rest of the way this season. And then Eli White goes back to that bench role where he's coming off the bench, and we're going to be better with that kind of situation. What about Strider, though? What are you hearing, Kelly?
Well, not a whole lot. Are you hearing anything? I mean, I got
No.
my ear to the wall, but
Why are we so quiet on these injuries? I mean,
But that's always been their way. That's always been their way. And I just, the hammy, as you well know, it's very finicky. Yeah, and
all
the
he was
way he
doing was
uses
just
his
playing
lower
toss.
half. I know, but he had just pitched the day, in a little tighter maybe after that first full throttle start that he had. And I've just seen, as you have, I know that the weirdest things can happen when it comes to injuries. I mean, I'd hate to bring it up, but Mike Soroka just walking back to the park, right?
Lord.
I mean, so it can happen, but I'm just bummed for Spencer Strider, because here he's waited so long to come back, and now he's back trying to get healthy again. And the hamstring, I do know, can linger for guys, and I just think about his pitching motion. So much of the lower half is used. I think it's gonna take time. I hate that so much, right? I wanted to see him against
Freddie
the
Freeman
Dodgers.
got hurt getting out of the shower.
Yes, and the ankle thing was bad. I did actually, reach out and ask him how he was doing and stuff with that, and he said it was really bad. Like, he was playing it down, obviously,
These
because he wants
players
to
have gone soft.
Well, if they're black and blue and it's all, I don't know, but how do you slip and fall? I didn't ask.
Yeah, sounds crazy. Look, my concern was the bullpen.
Yeah.
And we need to find a way to solidify this bullpen. And I'm thinking we get Craig Kimbrell back up here helping out in a setup role.
It's about time, right? We talked about this just last week. Isn't it time
Yeah, I
to
mean,
call
don't we
on him?
need him for this Dodgers series?
That'd be fun.
I mean, right now, Dylan Lee, I've got confidence in. I like Dylan Lee. I'm confident with him.
Always been a big Dylan.
Daysbel Hernandez. Now, he's done a little bit better. He's trying to win me over. I thought he was the weak spot in the bullpen, but hopefully he can get elevate a little bit. Pierce Johnson, how do you feel about Pierce so far?
Well, he was lights out in Colorado. Keep in mind, that's home for him. So maybe sleeping in his own bed did some wonders and it clicked, but he looked good in Colorado. So, and I'm a big Pierce Johnson fan. You know what he is? He is king of the dad jokes in the locker room, in the clubhouse. Yeah. He's always
the king of
always
the
has a good dad
too.
joke. Yeah, he does. And it was sharp. Again, sharp in Colorado. So I hope he can continue that.
We got De Los Santos.
Mm-hmm. Where do you
that
stand?
seems to be a flip of the coin.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
It's a little inconsistent. We got, I'll tell you who I do like is Rafael Montero, who I like his stuff. He's got some giddy up on that fastball. Breaking ball looks good. Now, he's walked a few people, but I think he's a guy we need to hold on to there. And then expecting Anthopoulos come trade deadline time at the end of the summer, I'm expecting him to solidify this bullpen with 2 or maybe 3 pickups at the trade
Really?
deadline.
It's so tough because everybody's looking to do that. Everybody. But you know what? A few of those arms out of Colorado, I mean, they are how many games back at this point? 17 or something like that already? Hey, a few of those young arms for Colorado, I wouldn't mind having over here. Let's bring them over here. They probably wouldn't mind getting out of there either.
How you feeling about the rotation? Chris Sale, best start of the year.
Yeah.
Now he lost because we didn't score any runs, but he looked great.
He did.
Looked great the last time out in Denver.
Speaking of what you brought up with the Verdugo and the footage, Chris sounded similar. He was looking at film and stuff, and he found where the arm had kind of, probably arm slot had slid down a little, dropped a little, I should say, and he managed to kind of make that adjustment. And boy, he looked like last year's Chris Sale, didn't he? Yeah. So I hope we get to see more of that because that
I'm not
good.
worried about him. What about Swelly?
I like Schwelly. Schwelly looks good.
All right.
That's it. So let's just
feeling good about him.
Yes, I feel good about
Grant
him.
Holmes has done pretty good job.
Pretty good job.
Like the job he's done.
Here's where it gets a little different.
How about A.J. Smith-Shawver? He had his best start the last time out on the road trip. He's never looked better. And then, of course, got hit in the arm right there in the meaty part of the arm, but he's okay. I was really encouraged by that start.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. I mean, and the confidence. I mean, he's always had that, but then when you're his age and you get sent down, I mean, it can start to play up here a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was glad to see him come out, to your point, and look like I belong up here, and I'm going to show you why. And that's what he looked like, a guy who was convicted in the pitches he was throwing the other night.
Yeah, I think it was something like 56 pitches and 49 strikes.
It's like he could have, he thrown a lot of strikes. And he could have, I mean, had that not happened, like you said, in the meaty part of his, we could have seen him maybe finish a game.
And how about Bryce Elder? He stepped up. Now, he's a guy that the fan base, I know some of the fan bases enjoyed kicking him around a little bit, but Elder looks good.
Yeah, I'm always going to be a huge Bryce Elder fan. I mean, he's always known who he is as far as, like, he's never going to light up the radar. It's just, we just need to see a little bit more consistency from Bryce. But we're going to get what we're going to get, right? Yeah. We kind of know going in what that is. So we need to see the offense put up some runs for the kid so he can work with a lead and start to, hit those locations, hit those spots.
Yeah, he's painting out there.
Yeah, I'm always, like I said, huge Bryce fan, so I want to see him do well.
All right, so we got the whole summer to track down the Mets, who are off to a really fast start. They've got 20 wins now.
Yeah, they've
looking at them. The Phillies are ahead of us. We've passed the Marlins and the Nationals. We've gotten out of the cellar, thank goodness. But we've got all summer to track down the Mets and the Phillies. And we got the All-Star game we can look forward to coming up in July 15th, Home Run Derby, July 14th. The Braves. Who are the Braves, do you think, that can make the team, the All-Star team? And, it's always special when you can make the All-Star team, but especially when you're playing at your home stadium in front of the home fans.
Yeah, it is very much so. And I would like to see a lot of them, right? And it's not too late for these guys, but I think Austin Riley has to be right there at the top of my list.
He's at the top of my list.
Okay, there you go. Boy,
we're on the same page here. You look at third base, I think Manny Machado, he's got a big name, but Riley's off to a better start than he is. Mm-hmm. There's not another third baseman in the National League that is doing as good a job as Austin Riley. So whenever the voting starts, we need to get Braves country out there, lighten up the ballot box, and let's get Austin Riley in this upcoming All-Star game. I've got Sean Murphy on the list.
Okay, I like that one. Yeah, I think so too.
I think we see Will Smith with the Dodgers, probably
naturally
looking like the starter, but you got to have more than one catcher in the All-Star game. I think Sean Murphy is back to the top of his game. In fact, he's a big reason why we got out of this funk with him back in there swinging the bat.
Great point. Yeah, if he continues to do that, I'm with you. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in that Midsummer Classic right here in Atlanta. Marcell
Ozuna as the DH, he's got one problem. Ohtani.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
He's going to win the vote. But
that's true.
How about Ozuna and the bobblehead? They ran that commercial on the TV side, man, and I love it. I love it.
The Big Bear. He makes me laugh. He does.
Yeah, he's got a shot of making it. And I think if Money Mike Harris gets hot here in the month of May, into June, he might have an opportunity to get in here as the center fielder.
I would love that for so many reasons. Like, one, he's the new, right? He's the young kids that are coming up in this game. This is not only where he plays, it's where he's from. And I think from a fan, to your point, this is about fans all across the country getting behind this. I think people everywhere enjoy what Mike Harris brings to the table. I mean,
He's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch, and he does the headband things, and he's very relatable, I think, to people. It's just, yeah, I think he would be so. I really hope he's getting to play it. It'd be his first All-Star game, right? I'm not. How cool would that be? Right here, where he grew up.
You know, I remember the last time Atlanta had the All-Star game. It was 2000.
Are we gonna do this? Oh, okay.
It was 2000, and I had tickets to the Home Run Derby.
I thought you were talking a couple years ago.
And Sosa put on the show, man. I mean, that was the best show that I've ever seen in the Home Run Derby. He must have hit 100 home runs that night at Turner Field. That was memorable. And then,
do you like the new format of that Home Run Derby, how they do it now? Because it's, of course, so different from 2000.
Yeah, I like, any of the formats are good with me.
Yeah.
Just as long as we get to see them, raking it out of the ballpark.
Some stamina to do what they do now because of the clock and step, but then you get the timeout and you take a breath and then get on the same page.
Worn out in a hurry.
Yeah.
Sosa, you probably wouldn't recognize him if you saw him now. But he put on a show that night. And then how about in the All-Star game, we had Chipper Jones had a home run that night in front of the home fans. That was special.
Yeah.
And
he'll play a big role in this one.
Hank Aaron threw out the first pitch.
Very cool. Man,
that was a special night down at Turner Field. That was awesome. So, look, I don't know
any
when
pitchers you want to throw out there? Because, see, I would think Schwelly should be a guy.
Shot.
I do, somehow, some way.
I think Sale gets back on track here.
Then he should be
back in there also, even though he started the game a year ago.
Agreed.
So, Braves country, the message here is whenever it is you can start voting, man, we got to pack that ballot box and get these Braves players out there playing in this All-Star game we got coming up.
Yeah. Braves country
doesn't get any better than the All-Star game.
No.
I just, as a kid, I just loved every second of it because it was the one night where you could see the game, the best players in the world taking the field. And at the time, we didn't have these silly uniforms they put on. You wore your own uniform. I wish we could get back to some of that.
I think they're considering that. Wasn't that one of the things that was passed coming into this season, is that they would wear their? Am I wrong
hope you're
about
right.
this? Let us know.
Yeah, and look, the home team, the National League, would wear their home uniforms.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The American League this year would wear their road uniforms, representing their team, their organization, their city. I like that a lot better than what we're seeing now with some of these crazy-looking uniforms.
I've been really, really blessed to cover quite a few, and one of my favorite parts is watching these guys, to your point, the best in the game that season, getting to pick the brains, some of the younger guys. Let's say Mike Harris, right, gets in there and getting to talk to a few of these pitchers that are not his guys, but other greats about, hey, how would you attack this guy? Or how are you looking to go attack that guy? And just the conversations that these guys have with one another, it's just really neat to see that much talent and stars all together there. And even the coaching staff gets a kick out of it, right? Because they get to coach a lot of good ones because they're the former, obviously, World Series winners. It'll probably be Dave Roberts, right, and his crew out there again this year, I would think, unless he gets to invite a few of his own, so maybe he'll invite some others that don't always get the opportunity to do something like that. But listening to the managers and coaches talk about getting to be around some of the guys they just never get to coach and really talk to them as people beyond the players, and it's all around, to your point, it's just a great few days for baseball.
It really is. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Braves picking it up, making a move in the National League East, and we'll be talking about it in upcoming episodes. Kelly, thanks so much for stepping in today and talking a little Braves baseball.
This was fun. I'm always thrilled to be here.
It's going to do it for Bucks Beat. We'll check you out next week.